would you prefer? Oh, yes. Well, good morning, everybody. That's it? Come on, you've already been awake for like 2 hours. Good morning. It's Halloween. Who's dressed up here? Great. Good. So, I'm very excited to be here with all of you today. And for those of you that are not as familiar with the Roaring Fork Conservancy, I just wanted to give you a quick little introduction. But first I should introduce myself. I'm Christina Medved, I'm the Education Director. And I do believe that we've been using this word already a lot this morning. I may have counted about 10 times. We've been using this word watershed. So I don't mean to insult anybody, but I need to do a check-in, right? Because if we're going to spend the next 3 hours here and we're going to keep using this word watershed over and over and over again, I want to make sure that we're all on the same page with what a watershed is. So, who of our amazing attendees here would like to just give us a quick little definition on what a watershed is? I see all the teachers looking at their students. I don't have any volunteers. Somebody wants to tell me what a watershed is. Okay, well, let's back up. Who's heard the word before?
Right, there you go. You got it.
Okay, now who would like to tell us, what's your name? George. What's a watershed, my friend? Okay, a boundary where there are a bunch of rivers inside of it. Does anybody want to add to George's definition? Yes?
All those rivers are tributaries of one larger river.
Okay, all the tributaries that are part of a larger river. Okay, do we want to add anything more to that? Anybody? Adults? April?
It's the area of land where all the water that falls on that land drains to one spot.
Perfect. Thank you.
I get paid to do that.
Thank you. Thank you. So there is a reason why we're emphasizing this word today. Okay, so what George had to say and Cole had to say, that is correct. We just wanted to add the land piece. It's very important that when we talk about watersheds, we're thinking about what's on the land. Okay? Because whatever's on the land out here is going to impact the water, either in a positive or a negative way. Okay? So, those of you that are not from here, I want to welcome you to the Roaring Fork Watershed. Who doesn't live in the Roaring Fork Watershed? Raise your hands real high. Real high, real high. Okay, so there's a few of you. Okay, so the Roaring Fork Watershed, for those of you that maybe are not as familiar with us, is we're the local watershed organization. We keep our eyes on the rivers. We also educate students like yourselves and also the residents and visitors that come to this valley. Liza here is another one of our educators. We teach about 7,000 people a year. That's a lot of people, okay? And as you are here in the watershed, whether you live here or are visiting, we kind of think it's fun to share a few fun tidbits with you about where you are. This is our watershed. As you can see, we have lots of water here. But this isn't even all of the streams that are in our watershed. There's a lot of seasonal streams that we can't possibly put and fit in this watershed. Our watershed's also about 1,400 square miles, which may sound just like a number, but if you think about the state of Rhode Island, we're about the size of the state of Rhode Island. Okay, it's a pretty big area. We have 4 counties that you can see here highlighted in green, and we have 3 major rivers. Bonus points for who can tell me what the 3 are. Just shout it out. 3 major rivers. Thank you. The Crystal. What else do we have? Roaring Fork. And the third one? Frying Pan. Excellent. So, again, just for also people visiting, okay, just let me do a quick little watershed tour. So, we have the Roaring Fork River that begins down here near Independence Pass, flows through the city of Aspen, flows to Basalt, where it meets, where the Frying Pan flows into the Roaring Fork. We continue our way to Carbondale, where the Crystal River, which begins way up here in Gunnison County, flows 40 miles before it gets to Carbondale, when ultimately the Roaring Fork flows into the Colorado River in Glenwood Springs. Okay, how does this fit in to the rest of Colorado? How does the Roaring Fork Watershed, where you are right now, how do we fit into the rest of the state? So this is the state of Colorado. It just looks like a big rectangle, but I promise this is the state. And this is outlining for us what the major watersheds are in this state. And let me add the continental divide. Bonus points. What 2 major watersheds is the continental divide dividing? Yes, sir. The Pacific and the Atlantic. Thank you. Okay? And so it makes sense. I'm sorry it's not dark enough in here for you to see, but all of these rivers begin right from the Continental Divide. They all begin here, right, to form our watersheds. So we're called a headwater state because the majority of our water leaves Colorado, okay? So I want to draw your attention to the yellow section. That's the Colorado River watershed. And I've highlighted an area in blue. That is the Roaring Fork watershed. Does it look like it takes up a big part of Colorado? No. Who was that? Okay, it doesn't, okay? But I want you to keep this in mind for the stuff we're about to talk about here in the next few minutes.
Christina, like 3 more minutes.
Yeah, you got it. So, people come here because it's beautiful. We have abundant wildlife. We have cold, clear streams. We've got awesome trout. People love this place. They consider it paradise. But I want to propose to you all that because this place looks like everything's okay, and because it's so beautiful, it might be worthwhile to pay more attention to it, to protect it more, and to diligently watch it, okay? Because every watershed, let me back up for a second, every watershed, doesn't matter where you are in the world, has a story to tell, has a history, and has its challenges. I want to share 2 challenges with you quickly, okay? In the state of Colorado, again, we're in Colorado, this is the Continental Divide here. We have the majority of people that live east of the Continental Divide, but the majority of the water is west, where we are. So a long time ago, and in some cases about 100 years ago, people were thinking about the future. They were thinking about you and me today. And they were thinking, how are we going to share water to all those people on the other side of the state? So they came up with trans-basin diversions. Have you all heard of this before? Some of you have heard of this? There's huge tunnels through the mountains that share water from one watershed to another. In fact, Colorado has 24 major tunnels in this state. So this is, again, Colorado. And again, the light pastel colors are our different watersheds. Look at all these arrows, blue arrows. That's where all of the diversions are, okay? And if we go back to the Roaring Fork watershed, I want to draw your attention to the headwaters